So there she is all painted. Now we're ready for the decals. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to come in here where I've over painted the canopy. I'm just going to come in here with a cocktail stick and just around those edges where I've painted over, just come and just scribe away the excess paint. Okay, so there's our FW190 all painted up. We've got the wheels painted and so on. I could spend a bit more time if I wanted to make it look better, but I'm just going to leave it at that. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to come in and put the decals on. If I was making this as a normal model, I would give it a coat of clear, gloss clear before I put the decals on. I'm just not going to do that because all I'm going to do is just lay the decals straight onto the paint as I would have done in my childhood. What we're going to need for this, we'll use our sharp knife, a cocktail stick, a cotton bud, some clean kitchen towel, a bowl of water. There are other things you can use, but we'll talk about those in one of my future builds, as I discussed earlier. And I've cut these out, so I'm going to leave the hardest one till last, which is going to be this one that goes around the spinner. So the little twisty shape that goes around the spinner, and I'm just going to leave these all to soak in the water for a couple of minutes until it soaks right through to the bottom of the backing paper. In the old days, I'd take these little labels and I would stick them by the kitchen sink, and I ended up in my old, where I grew up, with loads of these all around the kitchen sink. For every aircraft that I ever built, I would put this up there, and there were so many. I wish I'd taken a photograph, but they're all gone now. So they've all been sitting in there for a little while, soaking through the backing paper. The one decal that's not included is the swastika that would go on the tail. I know that in some countries that symbol is banned, and so that's probably why it's been left out. Some models, makers leave them out, some people put them in. It's a shame they don't put it in, but you can get aftermarket parts, aftermarket ones, so that you can put them on if you really want to. Right, so I'm going to start off by putting these on the side. Now all I'm going to do is apply some water to where I want the decal to go. Okay, and I'm going to take my decal and I'm just going to slide it into place. And then when I'm happy with how it looks on the picture, making sure it's all nice and straight, I'm going to come in with my cotton bud, slightly dampened, and I'm just going to roll out the excess water from behind the decal. Now I don't know how these are going to go down, because I like to put them over a glossy finish, and if you use some other products like the Micro Sole, if you put that over, it helps the decal to soften and then conform to the shapes that are on the details that are on the model. Okay, I'm not very happy with that. I'm going to move that up a bit. Now, if you run out of water, you just pop a little bit more water on there. So that's the first decal on. Then we're going to come on to the other side. Taking the liquid that's from the actual decal sheet, because that'll have some of the glue on it, I'm just going to use that to come in, and then we're going to slide that into place as well. Okay, so that's the two sides done. Let's come back and do the wings. Okay, so that's the two crosses on the top of the wings. Then we're going to come underneath. Now the other way of doing this, I find quite useful, is just get your decal to the edge of the paper and just lift it. Okay, and then we can put it into position wherever we want. Always seem to do this, always get one attached to my hand somehow. In truth, this is probably my least favourite part of the model making process, is putting the decals on. But it's the stage at which I think the model starts to come alive and just look like it was what it was meant to be. Now ideally what I do now is I leave that 24 hours to dry before coming in and giving it another coat, clear coat of varnish to protect it all. And so at the moment we're going to leave it like that, and then we're going to come back tomorrow. Actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get this nasty decal on. I've always had problems with these. Bit of water on the spinner. It might be easier to paint this sort of thing on. I certainly wouldn't use a decal on a larger aircraft. I would probably mask it and paint it, unless the decal was particularly good. I've never found this very easy to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to lay that on there. Now I'm just going to take this whole decal off, and then somehow try to wrap it around the spinner. So that's about as good as I'm going to get it, and then when it's dry I'll come in and trim it. So I'm just going to make sure I brush it right down. Right, I'm just going to leave that to dry. So I'll leave that overnight and then come back tomorrow to see how it's doing. So we've got it on its acrylic rod, and that's it so far. And so that's been, you know, I made this in one day, less than one day, and so there she is. So I think this has taken me about 5 or 6 hours with other bits and bobs that I've been doing in between. So there we have our finished model. We'll come back tomorrow and have a look at how we can just bring out some more of the details. I'm also going to paint these machine guns and cannons, maybe mix up a couple of the colours just to add some definition there.